ladies and gentlemen, life has a way of throwing curveballs when we least expect it. One moment you're cruising toward your goals, and the next you're flat on your face, wondering what went wrong. But here's the thing. Setbacks aren't roadblocks, they're springboards. The real question isn't whether you'll face obstacles, it's how you'll rise from them. Failure has a bad reputation. We've been conditioned to fear it, avoid it, and do everything in our power to prevent it. But here's the truth. Failure is not the enemy. In fact, failure is one of the best mentors you'll ever have if you're willing to listen to its lessons. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't that the successful ones never fail. It's that they fail, learn, and adjust faster than everyone else. Think about it. Every major breakthrough, every revolutionary idea, every game-changing innovation came from someone who first got it wrong. The greatest athletes, the most brilliant scientists, and the most successful entrepreneurs all have one thing in common. They failed, and they failed a lot. But they didn't wallow in it. They didn't let failure define them. Instead, they analyzed what went wrong, made adjustments, and moved forward fast. The key is to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing failure as a verdict, see it as feedback. When something doesn't work, it's not a sign that you should quit. It's data that tells you what needs to change. Every time you fall short, you gain valuable insight that brings you one step closer to getting it right. But here's where most people get stuck. They stay down too long, paralyzed by fear, shame, or self-doubt. They replay their mistakes over and over instead of using that time and energy to recalibrate and try again. The best way to fail is to fail fast. Make the mistake, learn the lesson, and keep moving. Don't waste time obsessing over what went wrong. Channel that energy into making it right. Success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about shortening the time between the fall and the comeback. So, the next time you face a setback, don't dwell on it, digest it, adapt, and go again. Because the faster you fail, the faster you grow. Picture an elite athlete in the middle of a high-stakes competition. The game isn't going as planned, the strategy they trained for isn't working, and the pressure is mounting. What do? They don't freeze, they don't dwell on what should have happened, they pivot, they adapt, they find a new way to win. That's the mindset you need when life throws unexpected challenges your way. Because no matter how much you prepare, no matter how carefully you map out your path, things will go sideways. Plans will fail, obstacles will appear out of nowhere. The key to making a comeback isn't avoiding adversity, is learning how to adjust on the fly, just like an athlete does in a game. Think about a marathon runner hitting the dreaded wall at mile 20. Their muscles are screaming, their energy is drained, and mentally they're teetering on the edge of quitting. But instead of giving in, they adjust their breathing, change their pace, shift their mindset, and push forward. They don't let the pain dictate their race, they adapt to it. The same principle applies to life. Challenges are inevitable, but how you respond to them determines your outcome. Too often, people get stuck because they're attached to how they thought things were supposed to go. They refuse to change course, holding on to a plan that's clearly not working. But real resilience comes from flexibility. When one path closes, the best move isn't to stand there banging on the door. It's to find another way through. The strongest competitors aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who know how to recalibrate quickly. They assess the situation, make the necessary adjustments, and keep moving. They don't waste energy complaining about what's not working. They focus on what they can do next. So the next time you find yourself facing a setback, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's my next move? What can I shift? What can I control? Because the ability to adapt isn't just a skill. It's the secret weapon that turns obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into comebacks. No one ever makes a great comeback alone. Every legendary athlete, every world-class performer, every resilient leader has one thing in common. They have a team, a support system, a comeback crew that lifts them up when they stumble and pushes them forward when they doubt themselves. The idea of the self-made success story is a myth. Behind every victory, there are coaches, mentors, friends, and teammates who played a crucial role in making it happen. Think about the greatest sports teams in history. No single player wins championships alone. Even the most talented individuals rely on the strength, strategy, and support of their teammates. They push each other, hold each other accountable, and bring out the best in one another. That same concept applies to life. If you want to make a strong comeback, you need the right people in your corner, people who challenge you, inspire you, and refuse to let you stay down. And the mistake many people make when they hit a setback is trying to power through it on their own. They isolate themselves, thinking they have to prove they're strong enough to handle it alone. But the truth is, strength isn't about going solo, it's about knowing when to lean on others. The people you surround yourself with can either lift you higher or hold you back. That's why it's critical to choose your comeback crew wisely. You need people who believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself. People who remind you of your potential when doubt starts creeping in. People who won't let you make excuses, but will also offer a helping hand when you need it. These are the individuals who see your setbacks not as failures, but as setups for something greater. And here's the other side of it. You have to be that person for others too. The strongest teams are built on mutual support. If you want to be surrounded by people who will help you rise, you have to be willing to do the same for them. Be the friend who lifts others up, the teammate who pushes others to keep going, the mentor who shares wisdom to help someone else navigate their challenges. When you create a culture of resilience and support, you don't just build a comeback for yourself, you build a movement of people who are unstoppable together. So take a look at your circle. Who's on your team? Who's pushing you to be better? And just as importantly, who might be holding you back? The right comeback crew can make all the difference between staying stuck and making the greatest comeback of your life. Choose wisely, invest in those relationships, and watch how much further you can go when you don't go it alone. When life throws an obstacle in your path, you have two choices. You can let it control you, or you can take control of it. You can blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck, or you can own it. Truly owning an obstacle means taking full responsibility for how you respond, how you adjust, and how you move forward. It doesn't mean pretending the challenge isn't there, and it certainly doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties that come with it. It means looking the obstacle square in the eye and saying, "I've got this." The problem is, most people do the opposite. When setbacks happen, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-pity. Why did this happen to me? This isn't fair. I don't deserve this. While those feelings are normal, they don't move you forward. The longer you focus on what's out of your control, the more powerless you feel. And when you feel powerless, you stay stuck. But when you own the obstacle, when you take responsibility for your next move, you shift from being a victim of your circumstances to the leader of your own comeback. Think about the most inspiring comeback stories. They don't start with someone blaming their situation. They start with someone deciding to take action. A person loses their job, and instead of dwelling on it, they use it as an opportunity to start their own business. An athlete suffers a career-threatening injury, and instead of giving up, they double down on their recovery and come back even stronger. A student fails an important exam, and instead of quitting, they study harder, seek help, and ace the next one. The obstacle doesn't disappear overnight, but the moment they decide to own it, they take back their power. And here's the thing, owning the obstacle doesn't just mean accepting that it's there, it means using it to your advantage. Sometimes the very thing that seems like a setback is actually setting you up for something greater. The job loss forces you to step into a career that actually fulfills you. The injury teaches you discipline and patience in a way you never experienced before. The failure gives you the wisdom to approach challenges differently next time. When you take ownership of the obstacle, you also take ownership of the opportunities it creates. But taking ownership isn't just about mindset, it's about action. It means making a plan, taking the first step, and refusing to let excuses get in the way. It means shifting from why me to what's next. It means recognizing that no matter how tough the challenge, you are tougher. Because at the end of the day, it's not the obstacle that defines you, it's how you respond to it. And when you own it, you own your comeback. We live in a world that celebrates instant gratification. We want quick results, fast success, and immediate rewards. But the truth is, the most meaningful, long-lasting successes don't happen overnight. They take time, persistence, and an unshakable commitment to the bigger picture. The greatest comebacks don't happen in a single moment. They are built over time by people who understand the power of playing the long game. The biggest mistake people make when facing a setback is expecting a quick fix. They want the pain to disappear immediately. They want the results to come instantly, and when they don't see progress right away, they start doubting themselves. They start wondering if the comeback is even possible. But here's the reality. The strongest comebacks are not about speed, they're about endurance. They're about staying in the game even when the progress is slow, even when the results aren't obvious, even when everything in you is screaming to give up. Think about an athlete training for a championship. They don't just wake up one morning and suddenly dominate the field. They put in months, sometimes years, of training, discipline, and sacrifice. They show up even on the days when they don't feel like it. They put in the work even when the finish line feels a million miles away, because they know that success is not about one big moment. It's about all the small moments that add up over time. The same applies to any great comeback. Whether you're rebuilding after failure, recovering from a loss, or chasing a new dream, the key is to keep going even when the results aren't immediate. Every effort you put in, every lesson you learn, every small step forward is a brick in the foundation of your success. And the people who win in the end are the ones who refuse to quit in the middle. Playing the long game also means embracing the process. Too often people are so focused on the final destination that they forget to appreciate the growth happening along the way. But every setback teaches you something. Every struggle makes you stronger. Every challenge prepares you for the moment when everything finally comes together. If you rush the process, you miss out on the very experiences that are shaping you into the person who is capable of achieving your goal. And here's the most important thing to remember. Setbacks are temporary, but comebacks are built to last. If you commit to the long game, if you stay patient, persistent, and focused, you will come back stronger than before. It may not happen as quickly as you want, but if you keep showing up, keep doing the work, and keep believing in yourself, the victory will come. So don't get discouraged by slow progress. Don't give up just because the results aren't immediate. Stay in the game, keep pushing forward, because the real wins, the lasting wins, belong to those who have the patience and the perseverance to play the long game. So the next time life knocks you down, remember, a setback is just a setup for an even greater comeback. You've got this. Now go make it happen. Thank you.